From the moon to the stars, you can show me the way I follow. This is who we are, who we are. Anywhere you go, I'll be right there.
2 days ago, I took delivery of my 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63S. Although actually, I took delivery of it 2 months ago because I did European delivery in Germany. I picked it up at the facility, got to take a tour of the AMG factory, see the plant where the actual 4-liter twin-turbo V8s were built, drive the car on the Autobahn, and even take it to the Nürburgring. After a long 2-month wait of this car on a boat, it's finally arrived in California. Every mile that I put on this car so far has been an absolute joy. I could talk for hours about all of the incredible offerings of the E63 AMG, but I wanted to highlight some of the insane features for you that will absolutely blow your mind. Let's hop right into it. The first insane feature of the AMG E63S is the Burmaster high-end audio system. Now, even the bass sound system has incredible clarity and bass and tone. That came in my S550, so does it in the E63. But for audiophiles and tech nerds, the $4,550 Burmaster high-end audio upgrade will probably be appealing. And here's why. For one, it comes with 1,450 watts of auditory bliss. Also, 23 speakers. There's even a ceiling-mounted speaker up there. The subwoofer in the trunk has its own 400-watt amp, and the system provides the clearest, richest sound of any in-car audio system I've ever heard. It's almost crazy that you're able to get this sort of in-home movie theater quality sound or music studio quality of sound inside of a car. It's also incredibly customizable as well. If you're listening to audio, you can go over in the infotainment to sound. There's of course an equalizer, so you can adjust the bass, the mid, the treble like any audio system. You can also use the balancer fader. There's also 5 different sound profiles that Mercedes has created depending upon your mood. There's a pure sound profile. It says audiophile, pure sound reproduction without additional effects. Easy listening, perhaps you're listening to classical music. If you want to listen to music that sounds live, there's a setting for that. Surround and 3D surround. But what's really cool is if you go back, there's a thing called VIP seat. Now, what is VIP seat? You click on that and it reveals that you can actually fine-tune the speakers, the direction of the sound to a specific seat in the cabin. Right now it's on driver's seat, so if I'm the only one in the car and I want it to sound a little bit better where I'm sitting, you can do that, but you can also change it to the passenger as well as the left and right rear seats. But the absolute coolest part of the Burmaster high-end audio system is the rotating illuminated tweeters. That's right, the tweeters, they're responsible for the high-pitched tones that you hear, are normally little black speakers mounted in the A-pillars of cars. But Burmaster said, that is super boring, let's spice it up. 10 levels above any other car. In fact, when you turn the car on, the metal drilled, it's just gorgeous to look at. Tweeter rotates outwards into the on position, and it's also backlit by the car's ambient lighting. How cool is that? There is absolutely no reason for a speaker system to do this. No reason at all. But because they did, it creates this magical, exclusive, exciting feel every time you get into the car and turn on the speakers. That rotation, nobody else is doing this. The next crazy feature of the E63S is its launch control. With all-wheel drive, a 9-speed transmission, and a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 making 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, this thing is set up very nicely for a quick 0 to 60 time. In fact, Mercedes themselves, who often is very conservative with their acceleration times, as with most manufacturers, is claiming a 0 to 60 of 3.3 seconds. That's Mercedes. Having done launch control, well, a ridiculous amount of times, considering I haven't owned this car very long, it feels faster than that to me. I'm gonna need to get my VBox data logger out so we can actually track an accurate 0 to 60 time, but from the seat of the pants, it feels like 3 seconds flat, or maybe even a little quicker. The crazy part is, despite having all that power, how well the launch control system works. There's no wheel spin, it simply revs up, bam, takes off in a frightening manner. The nice part is putting it in launch control actually isn't difficult whatsoever. You take the dynamic select switch, you bump it all the way down into race mode. Race mode limits the traction control a bit. You don't have to do anything with the traction. Most cars, you got to put it in Sport Plus, then press and hold traction control, then make sure it's in manual, and then do this and that. All you have to do in the E63, put it in race mode, then put your left foot firmly on the brake, floor the gas, it pins to 3,500 RPMs, you release the brake, and boom, you are thrusted forward violently. Let's do that, shall we? Left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas, and then you release the brake. But actually, before we launch it, one of the coolest parts about the launch control sequence is what the dash looks like when it's getting ready to go. It activates race start, and the entire screen lights up in this intense red flashing, warning you that it's about to be really intense. Let me show you that. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas, and go. Whoa! You don't have to shift the transmission whatsoever. It automatically upshifts and thrusts you into your seat with such violence, it's actually staggering that they made a family sedan this quick. 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds is faster than a Ferrari F12, a V12 Ferrari, and this is a family sedan that you can comfortably fit 5 people in. That's insane. Let's do it again, but point of view style. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas. Wow, that's nuts! Next up is one of the E63's signature features, and that is drift mode. Now, the E63 AMG is all-wheel drive, which means it's practical in inclement weather. It also means because it's so powerful, it's able to get off the line super quickly. The new M5 is all-wheel drive as well. But weren't Mercedes AMG cars all about giant smoky burnouts and huge drifts and way too much torque for the rear tires to handle? Yes, they were, and AMG is not gonna let an all-wheel drive system ruin the driving experience of the new E63 AMG. And that is why they have included drift mode. To put the car in drift mode, toggle the dynamic select switch down to race mode like you're doing a launch control. Then you press and hold traction control off, because obviously traction control needs to be off to drift. Once that's done, you have to put it in manual mode, so you click the little M with the gears in the center console here. Next, you pull both paddles up at the same time and hold them for a couple seconds. Seriously, this feels like you're activating a video game cheat code. A screen pops up that says yes or no. Obviously yes. To confirm, click the up paddle, and drift mode is active. What that does is activate a clutch in the transmission that decouples the front drivetrain, meaning no power goes to the front, and all 627 pound-feet of torque go to the rear tires, meaning burnouts and drifts. Now, unfortunately, there is not enough space anywhere near here to do drift mode, but it is an awesome, awesome thing. A little sideways there. It is staggering still how much grip this thing really does have. But I think this trend of all-wheel drive cars that can deactivate the front drivetrain for a full rear-wheel drive experience is here to stay. It's kind of the best of both worlds. You can have that fun sports car-like vibe, and then you can also have the practicality and the levels of grip with all-wheel drive. It started with the Focus RS, and that system wasn't all that great, but it's been immensely improved for the super sedans like the BMW M5 and the E63. Actually, in the M5, I believe they set the world's longest drift record while they were in rear-wheel drive mode. Pretty crazy. Are you gonna use drift mode all the time in the E63? Probably not, but having that feature, the ability to go rear-wheel drive, is a really special thing. Fourth up, and one of my personal favorites, is the E63's ambient lighting. Now, in 2015, when the current generation S-Class came out, people were blown away by its ambient lighting underneath the dash, behind the speakers, in the footwells, but this has taken it up a notch. That car had 8 different settings for the ambient lighting depending upon your mood. Red Dawn was one of them, for instance. But Mercedes decided for the E63 that 8 color options would not be enough. Now we have 64 individual colors that you can choose from to illuminate the cabin. But what's even crazier than that is you can actually choose multiple colors at the same time. If you scroll to the ambient light settings in the infotainment and you scroll over, you'll see this button here for multicolor. When we click that, we've got several different colorways, from ocean blue, which has a darker blue in the bottom, and then on the top, up by the tweeters and overhead, we've got a lighter blue. Purple sky, one of my favorites, also 2 different shades of purple. And then, if you really want to make the colors stand out, we've got red moon that has this pinkish red in the tweeters and then darkish purple below that. We've also got fire red, dawn blue, sun yellow, jungle green, glacier blue, color flash, and color mix that rotates through all of the different colors at the same time, both at the top row and the bottom row, so that you can feel like you're in a nightclub. Now, if we get rid of the multicolor, we've got this scroller here where you can choose any color you want. I'm on color number 45, and it goes all the way up to 64. I think that's enough colors. And right here, we can control the brightness levels for the front versus the rear. Ambient lighting has become a staple in luxury cars. When you get in a new car nowadays that doesn't have tricksy ambient lighting, it almost feels like it's lacking something. And the E63 takes ambient lighting to a whole nother level. It sets the mood in the cabin, it's nice and luxurious, it's relaxing, and it gives you something lovely to look at. The crazy thing is, it's significantly brighter than this at nighttime, but during the day, you can see it as well. That's how powerful these LEDs are. Lastly is the E63's interior. The choice of materials, the design language, the build quality come together in such a way that the E63's interior stands out above and beyond its competition. There's almost a reason in itself to get the E63 over the M5 purely because of its interior. Obviously, it has other things going for it as well. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There's 3 different color options for the leather. This is the black Napa leather, and then there's brown, and then there's tan. I opted for the AMG Performance seat that holds you in place extremely well. It also looks a lot nicer, and it's heated and cooled despite being a performance seat. I opted to have a carbon fiber interior, which looks really nice, although there are 9 total options to choose from in terms of trims, from various woods to various metals to carbon fiber. But what I think is really cool is watching the design language from the higher end models trickle down to the lower end models. What do I mean by that? Well, when the current generation Mercedes S-Class came out, it unveiled this beautiful, stunning dual 12.3-inch screen. Now we have a revised version of that that's even better than the one that was on the S-Class. It doesn't have that divider in the middle. It's just one giant sheet of glass that has absolutely stunning graphics. And we have the things that I've talked about before in this video, like the Burmaster high-end audio, as well as ambient lighting, the leather everywhere. We've got an optional black Alcantara headliner. It's just such a nice place to be. And the dash is extremely customizable as well. Let me show you. Let's go ahead and turn the car on here by clicking this button with, look how cool of a pattern that is. There we go, engine stop start. The dash has various viewing modes. You can control the left side of the screen with this toggle on the steering wheel here. Let's go down to classic. Now we've got a speedo and tack. What about progressive? We've got this futuristic alien-esque center-mounted tachometer and speedo. I like sport the most. We've also got various screens over on the right side as well. Then the graphics on this screen are fantastic as well. It's controlled via this center stack here. Go ahead and click the home button to bring it home. Let's go over to vehicle. The amount of customization is stunning. And just look at the graphics. We've got a gorgeous E63. Climate control, we've got heated, and let's do dynamic select. I mean, look at, when you go through the different modes, it actually has individual graphics for it. We're in comfort mode right now. If we go down and click the dynamic drive select to sport, the graphic changes. How about Sport Plus? Now it's red. Race, it's got a track in the background. I mean, how cool is that? Go into suspension, it highlights just the suspension. Go to Sport Plus, got just the transmission. Now what happens if we go over to track pace? Warning, use this on a racetrack only. Okay. Look at this, drag race. It's got an acceleration timer. It even has a light. It's got a tree for you. You can also measure your lap times, driver profile. You can set up a profile. The level of customization in this interior is out of this world. We've even got a cabin fragrance atomizer. The car actually atomizes this fragrance so it doesn't damage the leather, and it smells super nice. You can buy various different scents from Mercedes. For those of you who are into watches, it even has an IWC, which is a very reputable watch manufacturer, clock in the dash. I mean, just look how spectacular this is. Overall, the interior of the E63S is insane and absolutely one of the highlights of the car. It's so comfortable, it's luxurious, it's packed with technology, and it looks driver focused as well. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do a full review on the car, as well as 5 things I hate about and point of view, and a ton of other E63 content in the future. Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already. I look forward to seeing you next video.
Gravity.